All right, welcome back. We're joined now by the football team from left to right, Coach Manny Lopes, and then we have captains Jason Dennehy, Robbie Wachowski, Daniel Oloede, and James Gamble. You guys switched seats on me, so I messed up the names a little bit. I apologize. First of all, guys, thanks for joining us. Coach, we'll start with you. The fall was obviously a mess. We didn't know as much as we do right now about everything, and ultimately football got bumped. Now, at the time, we didn't know if there would be a season at any point, correct? At least in those early stages?
Yeah, when they first bumped it, they had said that they were going to do a fall too, but, I mean, even the winter was up in the air, so no one really knew what was going to happen.
So now with the obvious caveat that everyone's health was, of course, the most important part, strictly as a competitor, though, what's running through your mind when you hear that the season's going to be canceled?
Well, the tough thing was, you know, before the season started, these guys were in the summertime, we were out working out, and I kept telling them, we can't plan for the season not to happen. We have to plan for it to happen, and then if something happens and it gets changed, we'll pivot and we'll adjust accordingly. They didn't slow down. They were at workouts 3 days a week, 2 nights a week. We were really out there working hard, getting ready for camp in August. And then I think, end of July, beginning of August, we caught wind that the season wasn't going to happen, that we were bumped to a quote-unquote fall two. And, some of these guys kept coming and kept working out, but some of them, and I don't blame them, they had other sports that were happening first, right? And Jason and Robbie both called me and said, hey, we're thinking about doing golf. I said, yeah, go play as many sports as you can. We're not going to be able to go. Once school starts, we can't go inside. We can't go at 6:30 in the morning before school and do it out on the football field. So, go play another sport, go do something else. It was tough because we had such a good rhythm going, and then to hear that, it was deflating for everybody. And I remember James calling me, and are we actually going to play? I think he was worried more than anybody because, 3-year starter, and he was looking forward for his senior year the most. And, when we found out that we couldn't play, it was tough, but I stayed in contact with all these guys. I knew the ones that were playing other sports or getting ready for other sports was still working. I knew that when Fall 2 did happen, we would be a little bit behind the 8 ball just because everyone would be, but I knew they would be ready to go.
Yeah, so how do you approach that? I mean, you do end up getting your season, somewhat limited schedule, and like you mentioned, all the seasons are sort of compressed, so with a lot of these guys probably playing other sports, there's not much of a preseason, off-season type program you can have.
No, we didn't have a ton of time leading up to it. We actually had 1 extra week than the rest of the schools in Massachusetts, which I kind of, wish we had started when they did. We had 4 weeks of a preseason. Most other schools had 3. I would have rather had an extra game and started the week earlier. But again, I knew they were ready. I knew they were chomping at the bit to get after it. We knew we were going to have a good team, so I knew everyone would show up. And it was, one of those things that we expected a bigger number than we had, but when we started, we knew we had the right 43. We knew we had, it was awful weather. We had 8-foot snowbanks out on the field when we first started. And I knew anybody that's going to sit through that is completely committed to the team. So it was tough, but we worked through it.
Yeah, so you guys certainly opened some eyes going 4-1 on the season. So just give us a little bit of a recap. You don't have to run through every single game if you don't want to, but just sort of how the season went overall.
Yeah, no, it was, we started off against Medfield there. First we started here with a scrimmage against Norton. They went toe-to-toe with us. So I said, going in we thought would be pretty good. We played Norton. I was surprised at how well they played with us. But our guys, it wasn't a game scrimmage, so I knew it was a little bit different. Went to Medfield and was completely excited about what was going on. I think we held them to negative yards deep into the fourth quarter. They scored one late. I think they had a 74-yard touchdown pass, and they had 73 yards of total offense. So our defense really shut it down most of the games. So we're excited about that. And then our offensive running attack, I don't even know what the final numbers were. I don't know if you guys remember for that game, but 400?
No, I think 270. Right?
270.
I just remember on Twitter seeing it, another rushing touchdown over and over again.
And it was over and over again. And it was fun to see us just flying downfield. Olo was a starting guard for us, coming around the corner, lighting kids up downfield. The offensive attack, we were run heavy, and we ended the season with 1,800 yards rushing in 5 games, which is incredible. So we knew it there against Medfield. They had a lot of talent. They had a 3-year starter at quarterback. They had the league MVP, who he was the one kid. He scored that 74-yard touchdown. But other than that, they did nothing against us. Then game 2 was Holliston. So that was the big one. So that was our home opener. That was the one that I think we circled on the calendar. This, if you want to prove yourself, that's a team you got to beat. And our guys came out flying. They blocked a field goal and took it back to the house in our first drive. Well, Jason had an interception. We started on defense. Jason had a pick. Then they blocked a field goal, took it back to the house. We were a little nervous. The years past, Holliston had blown the doors off of us. But these kids rallied. These kids responded. I think we can take it back to this one play in the game. Olo chased the kid down from behind. They had a kid, Tristan Benson, who was one of the best running backs in the state last year. Olo chased him down from behind and hit him so hard it sounded like a car accident. And I think right then and there, everyone on the sideline kind of, all right, this is our game now. We're bringing the physicality to them. We're taking this over. And I think that was kind of the coming out party for this team especially, and for Norwood in general, was we can go toe-to-toe with anybody. We ended up beating them 21-13. They scored late to score that second touchdown. And then game 3, Westwood came here. We handled them pretty well. Another big rushing attack. Then Ashland came in. Ashland's the defending league champion. They knocked Holliston off last year. They're always a tough team, and I think part of what we want to emulate is being that tight-knit group of friends that will go toe-to-toe with anybody. And we did. They came out on top, which was unfortunate, but they felt it after the game. They walked away sore. We walked away sore. Unfortunately, we didn't get that one. And then we closed out with Hopkinton. We were supposed to play on a Friday night. They threw a curveball at us at like 3 o'clock on a Friday that we were switched to Sunday. Getting kids to figure out, how to navigate a Friday night game to a Sunday is tough. Mm-hmm. We couldn't do anything Friday, so we came in Saturday morning. I don't think we did. I think we just did a walkthrough, more of a last practice for these guys, and let's get ready for Sunday. We had another senior, Ryan Sue, was supposed to drive down to North Carolina on Saturday morning. His whole family postponed their trip so he could play in that game on Sunday, which is just, it's dedication from everybody on the team. They really they responded well, and we ended up beating Hopkinton and winning the league title.
That's awesome. So, captains, turning to you guys now, similar question to what I asked Coach, going back to the beginning a little bit. Your seniors, like he mentioned, James Gamble down there, 3-year starter, looking forward to the senior year. What's the feeling when you initially hear that the season was going to be canceled, going back to the fall a little bit, before we knew that you would have this fall 2 opportunity?
When I thought the season was canceled, I just thought, even if we do play in the spring or the winter, it's not going to have the same intensity. There's probably not going to be playoffs. We're not going to play competitive out-of-league games like Oliver Ames. But at the end of the day, we did have those 5 games, and make no mistake, we were all devoted to each one of those games. We were super focused, and when we were at game 4, I was like, I can't even imagine playing 11. Everybody was sore. We were walking in beat up into every game, but we just toughed it out and had a great year.
Yeah. So does not knowing you're not going to have that playoff, does that affect the mindset at all, or is that sort of just one of those things you hear at the beginning of the season? It's kind of a bummer, and then you just sort of forget it as you get into it.
We heard it because it bummed us out at first because we knew we could make a deep playoff run, but then we kind of shifted our focus to let's beat Holliston. They embarrassed us last 5 years playing them, and let's go beat them. And that was our first goal after we beat Medfield. Let's beat Holliston, and then after that it was we're being taken seriously in the state, and that's for the first time in a while. And then after that, we were like, all right, let's win out. Let's win the league. We ended up not doing that, but we said let's win the league. That was our main goal, and we ended up doing that. So that was great.
So now, as captains, you guys, I'm sure, have a pretty good pulse on the team. What were your expectations of the team coming into the year? Did you know how talented of a group you had? Did you know this was a league-winning potential team? How did that sort of play out?
Yeah, I definitely did, because when my junior year, we had a lot of sophomores that stepped up, like Sabode and Brian Mateo. They were kind of the speed behind, like the muscle, like Daniel and Robbie. And we had a bunch of good, like productive offensive linemen that were coming up that were younger guys. And we knew that this team was going to be special. We just had to put the work in.
Would you guys echo that, the three of you down there? Did you have that similar expectation coming into the year?
Yeah, like I've been on the team and I just realized like all of the young guys starting like young, we've always been a young team, so we just knew like my senior year, like our senior year, that we'd finally be the older team. And the scenario is like a lot of seniors and juniors starting now instead of sophomores and freshmen. So, and we stepped up. We still hit the weight room every day. We still got better, and then we really showed it on the field by winning the Tri-Valley.
So usually it's the Walpole game, I would say, that gets circled on the calendar for everybody around here. Coach mentioned Holliston with how talented they are. That was a big one. Was that the big game, or was there another game that you guys had a little extra juice for? Like, does Westwood being neighboring town?
No, it was Walpole. Yeah, Walpole. Yeah, that really bummed us out because Walpole was a big game for us. So like, we wanted to play them so badly, and then it got canceled. That made our mindset different. Like, who's the next team we have to beat that we all rivals with? So, yeah. Oh, you know.
Go behind you. Behind you.
Oh. I forgot.
Yeah, I'll pick up where Daniel left off. Every game was a challenge, you know. Every game we looked forward to see we're going to win. We always had that mindset. Westwood was a big one because I know a bunch of kids on that team, and I was telling them the whole night before, like, get ready for tomorrow. It's going to be bad for you guys. It was just a good time, yeah, and Ashland was a big one. Oh, yeah. Felt real good.
And just sort of going down the line again, James, if you want to start, just sort of what was the highlight of the year for each of you? Whether it was one of those games, it doesn't have to be game related, just sort of big point for the season.
Big highlight of the year, definitely the Holliston game. That's the top. But there was 5 of us on the team who won TVL All-Stars. Me, Daniel, Robbie, Ryan Sue, and junior Brian Mateo. That was big. That was huge. Because Norwood, they only usually have 1, maybe 2 guys a year. Mm-hmm. And it felt good having 5 TVL awesome. All-Stars.
Daniel, how about you? Highlight of the season?
Definitely Holliston. Because we played off that game. Everyone devoted each other to that game. Yeah, that game was like a different type of level for me. I put all my heart into that game, and it really paid off that game. So, yeah.
Highlight of my season, other than all the on-field excitement we had, definitely hanging out with the boys outside of the games. This was like a very tightly bonded team. Like, we did everything together. Every weekend we spent like time together. Like, pretty much every weekend throughout the like 6-week season we spent together. So it was just a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine going through a pandemic as a team together certainly, while it has its negatives, it certainly, I'm sure, brings you a little bit closer too, just with everything going on. And how about you, Jason?
The Holliston win was definitely, like, I've said it before, I was like, that's the best day of my life. But I'd say an underrated game was just as a quarterback offensively was the Hopkinton game. I mean, we had 49 points before the fourth quarter even started. Wow. Like, everything was working for us. We could throw the ball that game. Gamble caught a touchdown. I think on like the first like 5 offensive plays, we had like 3 rushing touchdowns. So we could just run the ball all over them. And after that game, like knowing we won the TVL, that was awesome. And then just spending time with the guys during those 6 weeks was awesome.
That's great. So not to make you guys keep passing the mic down, but I'm going to go one more time down the line here real quick. Just now that you're graduated, first of all, congratulations. Head start on the summer. Plans for the fall, whether it's college, work, whatever it is. We like to give people updates.
All right. During the fall, I'm going to be joining the Air Force.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'll be going to Endicott College. I'm playing baseball there and studying business management.
Very nice.
I'm going to Quincy Community College to do personal training and just keep my lifting up and just trying to play college football later.
Awesome.
Yeah, so for the fall, I'll be attending Framingham State University. I'm going to be continuing my football career there. Yeah, I'll have a good time.
Awesome. So, Coach, as it makes its way back to you here slowly, just talk a little bit about your captains and their leadership, particularly in a difficult year that they displayed this year.
Yeah, these guys have been awesome, and I said it at our banquet recently. You know, selfishly, I wish there was more games just so I could spend more time with these guys. It's been an awesome, and you know, James is a 3-year starter, but so is all 4 of them. Mm-hmm. All 4 of them started 4 years for us. Jason started as a linebacker, moved into the quarterback role, and then this year played both ways for us. Robbie's a 4-year starter. He got brought up as a freshman, played half the season with us, or 3/4 of the season with us as a freshman. Unfortunately, his sophomore year, week 1 against Walpole, he got hurt and was done for the year, ruled out right away, done for the year. But didn't miss a practice, was at everything, never missed anything, was there all the time, sat in the freezing cold, sat in the rain, didn't miss anything. Olo, we knew after Olo's freshman year, he came up, and there was just something different about him. He just had that physical presence in the weight room. You know, he's a quiet kid, doesn't say much, but he's just, you can hear the weights clinging when he's in there working, you know, and he is a silent leader because a lot of kids just look at what he does and they follow suit in the weight room. James is the furthest thing from a silent leader. He's another 3-year. James is awesome. He's the one that keeps practice light when things are bad, and you know, sometimes I can get in a mood and I can take it out on these guys. James was always the one that would kind of just take the brunt of it and make everybody else laugh and keep everybody going together. So it's a great group. It's tough to see him leave, but like I tell all my guys, you know, he's not leaving until September, so I hope he's here in the summer working out with us. Robbie the same way when he leaves for college. We'll be here all summer long. Hopefully these guys come around. When they do come back from college, they're the first ones invited to all our games, talk to our kids, do whatever. It's a program, and it's a program for life. It's not just your 4 years and you're out of here. They're part of Norwood football forever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it sounds like we got a couple of them staying around the game, maybe some future assistant coaches somewhere down the line.
I hope so.
Well, awesome. Congratulations to you guys on a great season. Good luck with everything you're doing in the fall. Enjoy the summer, first of all. And come back sometime, hang out with us on here, give us updates on what's going on.